Welcome back to Door Decor by Laurie. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make this wreath using the ruffle method. I'll also show you how I used 3 different ribbons to make the ribbon accents and how I also used those same ribbons to make the bow. In the description box below, I'll leave a list of everything that you need to make this wreath, and I'll also leave a link to my Etsy shop where this wreath is available for purchase. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so today we're going to make a different type of wreath, and we're going to be using some jute poly mesh. And it's not going to be a flower. We're going to be doing a little bit of a different technique, and we're going to be making ruffles is what I'll call them. We're going to be making some ruffles, and we're going to be putting them on a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath form. And instead of using our wood burner, we're going to use our rotary cutter to cut it, because you're not going to be able to use your wood burner to go through the jute part of this mesh. I think that would probably just smoke and not be very good. So we're going to cut both rolls into 30-inch strips. Now my mat only goes to 23 inches, so I'm going to have to cut everything off camera because I'm going to have to move my camera set up here to get to the 30 inches. But as soon as I've got all of my pieces cut, I'll come back and show you how we're going to assemble the wreath. Okay, so now I have all of my pieces cut in 30-inch pieces. I'm going to take a pipe cleaner or Chenille stem, and like I said, we're using a Dollar Tree 14-inch wreath form. And what we're going to do is we're going to start on bar 2, which is right here, and we're going to put a Chenille stem right at the section here where the 2 bars meet. And we're simply going to take it and we're going to wrap it under and bring it so that it stays secure. And then we're going to put this right on the crossbar. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our first piece of the jute mesh, and we're going to take the end and we're going to fold it under a little bit, just a little bit, and then we're going to start gathering it. And then this is what's going to make our ruffle. And we're going to gather it. And as you can see, this is starting to make a ruffle, and we're going to take the other end here and we're just going to turn it under just a little bit, and we're going to gather it up. And you see how it makes a nice little ruffle. And then we're just going to simply put it on our pipe cleaner, and we're going to secure it. We're going to wrap it a couple times. Once, twice. And there's our ruffle. And I'm not going to cut the pipe cleaners off yet. We're going to keep them there. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to bar 3, which is right here. And we're going to put our next pipe cleaner or Chenille stem, whatever you want to call it. And we're just going to wrap it around like that. And we're going to take our next color and we're just going to turn it under slightly. And then we're going to start to gather, so we can make our ruffle. You can see it's starting to make the ruffle. It's easier for me to use 2 hands, but when we're going to come to the end, we're just going to have this turned under just a little bit, and we're going to gather it. And we got our second ruffle, and we're just going to put it on right here. And we're going to secure it with the pipe cleaner or Chenille stem, whatever you like to refer to it as. And there's our second. We're just going to move this up. And then we're going to go back to bar 2, and we're going to put another pipe cleaner. We're just going to push this up a little bit. We're going to put another pipe cleaner in, and we're going to secure it. We're going to go back to our pink, and we're just going to turn the end under just a little bit. Then we're going to start gathering to make our ruffle. So we're going to gather, and keep gathering. we get to the end and we're just going to turn this under just a little bit and gather it up. And there's our next ruffle. And we're going to put it on the frame. Just like this. I cut my pipe cleaners in half. It might be easier for you if you used full pipe cleaners, but I usually use the half ones and that's fine. So then we're going to take one more pipe cleaner and we're not going to put it on the crossbar. We're going to put it right next to the crossbar. And we're just going to get another piece of our brown and we're going to make our ruffle. And this is very easy to make, and if you didn't have fabric mesh or poly jute mesh, you could use Deco mesh or your regular poly mesh, whatever you want it to use. I think would work fine. And here's our next ruffle. And we're going to put this right here. We're going to get the other end and we're going to secure it on here. Okay. All right, and I like the. Okay, so now we have all four pieces, 2 pink and 2 beige on the wreath form. So that's 4 in each section, so 2 of each color in each section. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections all together. So that's 24 pieces or 12 of each color. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting these ruffles around, and then I'm going to come back and show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so this is what our wreath looks like with all the ruffles on. And what I kind of did is I just went around and pulled the pink a little forward and the brown a little back so that it was all a little more even. You got some of the pink up in the middle and some of the brown at the end. So just gently go ahead and do that until you get it the way that you like, until you get it to the way that you think it looks nice. There's no wrong or right, but just do it gently. Just know that whenever you're working with cut, fabric mesh, poly jute, deco mesh, there's always going to be a little bit of fraying, so you just want to be easy. Take it easy with it. And at the end, I always spray my wreaths with the Rust-Oleum 2 times spray that will help keep the fraying down and will also protect it from the UV rays of the sun, so it won't, the colors will stay vibrant and they won't fade. So this is our wreath. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make our little ribbon bundles. So I'm going to put my wreath over here and I'm going to get out, these are my ribbons that I'm going to use, which it's so hard for me to pick out ribbons, but this is the ribbon that I chose. And the main ribbon that I really liked was this bicycle ribbon, if you can see it. And it's got the teal, and the little basket has, it's brown polka dot. So I actually found some teal and the brown polka dot ribbon, which kind of goes with everything, which gives me anxiety sometimes trying to find the ribbons that'll match. And I dovetailed all the ribbons, and how you do that is simply by, and each ribbon is cut at 14 inches, so it's 14 inches long. So you're going to take the ribbon and you're going to fold it in half so that the fold is on your right hand side, and you're simply going to cut diagonally, and that'll give you what they call a dovetail. I'm going to do it to the other side. So if you have a kind of frayed end there, you don't have to worry. So we're going to fold it over, we're going to cut it diagonally, and there's your dovetail. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're simply going to take our ribbon and we're just kind of going to crisscross it. So I'm going to put the polka dot in the back, and then I'm going to take the bicycle ribbon, and then I'm going to take the teal ribbon. And then what I'm just going to do is I'm just kind of going to gather it up like that. And I'm going to put a zip tie around it to hold it in place. These are 3-inch zip ties or whatever you have. So we can hold the ribbons, and we're going to make I think 6 bundles of ribbon to embellish our wreath, to put it around. So that's what the little ribbon ties will look like, and we'll put them all around our wreath. So I'm going to go ahead and put together all my little bundles of ribbon, and then I'll show you how we're going to put them on the wreath, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all my wreath bundles made, and what we're going to do is I'm going to start here at a pink ruffle, and I'm going to undo the pipe cleaner, and I'm going to hold it in there, and I'm going to take my little bow bundle, and I'm just going to wrap the pipe cleaner around it, and you just have to take your time and find the other end of the pipe cleaner. And then we're just going to wrap the pipe cleaner around nice and tight as many times as you can get it to hold the little bow bundle. And then we're going to take the ends of the pipe cleaner and just bend them down in. And then you can just fluff up the bow. What I like to do is take the ends and just kind of roll them back a little bit. And there you go. So I've got the 6, well now I've got 5 left, and I'm going to kind of stagger them. So this was in a pink ruffle, and I'm going to try to, you know, fluff up the ruffle a little bit too here so it's not too flat, and play with the ribbon a little bit. So I'm going to stagger the ribbon bundles. So I'm going to come over here and do it on a brown ruffle, and I'll come back and do it on a pink and then a brown. So I'm going to go around and put all 6 of them in, and then I'll come back and show you what we're going to do with a bow and all the ribbon. Okay, so we have all of our ribbon bundles on our wreath, and I've got them spaced out, and I did use all 6 of them. So I'm going to move the wreath, and I'm going to show you how to make a bow. And I kept these a little further apart because I'm going to put my my bow, how can I do this so you can see it, right here. But I'm going to move my wreath, and then I'm going to show you how to make a bow without using any bow helper. We're just going to do it by hand, and I'm going to use all the ribbon that I used in the ribbon bundles. So I like to have my tails be 12 inches. So I'm going to make this like this. So I'm going to go to the 12-inch mark on my board, which is really nice to have these mats that you can measure. And I'm just going to gather. And then there's going to be 3 layers of ribbon. So for this first layer, I want the loops to be 6 inches. So we're going to measure 12 inches from where we gathered to here, and we're going to bring it in. And then we have our first loop. And then we're going to turn the ribbon, and we're going to measure 12 inches again. So our loops are going to be all the same size. So there we have 6-inch loops. And then we're going to, let's see, measure again, 12 inches, and we're going to gather. We're going to bring our loop like this. And for me, this gets a little hard to hold, but I'll show you what I'm gonna do then. So we're gonna measure 12 inches again. I'm gonna bring the loop over here. And we're gonna gather. And we're gonna measure 12 inches, and this is the wrong side, but what we're gonna do, well, let me see. We're gonna turn the ribbon, and we're gonna measure 12 inches. And we're gonna make our bow over here. And it gets a little hard to hold the loose, but just do the best you can. And if I can do it, you can do it. And then we're gonna measure another 12 inches. Okay, so now we've got 3 loops on each side. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure, I still want a 12-inch tail. So we're gonna cut it at 12 inches here. And then I'm gonna give my fingers a break, and I'm gonna get a zip tie, and I'm gonna zip tie this all together. Now there's some very good bow makers out there that can hold all this ribbon and go on to the next one, but I'm not one of those people. So I'm going to use a zip tie to make this nice and tight. And there we have our 6-inch loops, 3 on each side. If I can get this. So that's the beginning of the bow we're going to use. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the next ribbon, and I'm going to do the same thing, and then I'll come back, and I'll show you what the next bunch of ribbon looks like, and then I'll show you how I do the third ribbon, which is going to be a little different. Okay, so now I've made my 3 separate bows here, as you can see. And I'm going to take the smaller bow, and I'll fluff all these up once I get it all together. So these 3, I've got the bows going on top and bottom, and then on the bicycle bows, I've got them on the 3 on the side. So I'm going to do the top. I'm going to make the top and bottom go on top of the ones on the side, like this. And then these are going on the side, so I'm going to make this one go on the top and bottom, and then that way when I put it all together, you'll be able to see all of the bows, all the different ribbon, and when it's fluffed up, it'll look really nice. And I dovetailed all the ends of the ribbon. So let me go ahead and put this together, and I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll put it on the wreath. I'll be right back. Okay, so here is our bow attached to our wreath. So you can just fluff the bow out however you'd like it, and have the tails whatever way you'd like them to go. So it's all totally up to your preference. But this is the bow. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Down below, I'll have a list of all the materials that you need to make this wreath. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.